Okay, it is 7 o'clock. I will call to order the April 15th, 2025 meeting of the Fort Atkinson City Council. Clerk Everett, would you please call the roll?
Councilman Becker,
Here.
Councilman Jekyll,
Here.
Councilman Johnson,
Here.
Councilman Schultz,
Here.
President Lisco here.
Here. Item 3, public hearings. There are no hearings this evening. Item 4, public comment. The city council will receive comments from city residents. Comments are generally limited to 3 minutes per individual. Anyone wishing to speak is required to sign up in advance or state the following items for the record when called upon: name, address, subject matter, and contact information. No action will be taken on any public comments unless the item is also elsewhere on the agenda. And note for those following along on Zoom this evening, if anyone on Zoom wishes to speak during the public comment period, please raise your virtual hand through Zoom, as the chat box is not monitored during the meeting. And those on the call, please remain muted if you are not recognized to speak. This evening, we have one person who has signed up in person to address us. At this time, I would invite John House to the podium. If you would, please state your name and address for the record.
Evening, John House, 104 Jefferson Street, Fort Atkinson. I'd like to bring up the unmowed land that the city owns, which is south, what is that subdivision out there now? It used to be the Shaw one. Is that Evergreen or?
Caution on Estates.
Good one. I'll try to memorize that. Well, anyways, I was just wondering who's the policeman of the ordinance that has to keep that grasses mowed down and the weeds and the pragmatis killed. About 2 years ago, I received a letter from the police department stating that my grass on my lot on Montclair Street was 3 inches taller than what it should be. So of course I cut it down. So am I to assume that it's the police department then that's supposed to be monitoring that? I guess it'd be nice if somebody told us as a citizens or whatever. And so I guess that's another story. But I do have one more thing to bring up, and that's pumping of sump pump water onto my property. And there's also people that are pumping sump pump water in the states there. They're pumping it into this curb and gutter. And there's also people pumping water right next to the curb and gutter in that subdivision. That can't be good for that curb and gutter, because it's gonna leak down in there and it's gonna soften it up, and then your gutter is gonna fall apart. So I guess I'd like to see somebody address that, and there's some other issues on Montclair Street that I'll hit you next time. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. There's no one else in person who has signed up. Is there anyone at this time following along on Zoom who wishes to provide public comment? I don't see any indication. We will move on. Item 5, consent agenda. The consent agenda outlined below is hereby presented for action by the city council. Items may be removed from the consent agenda on the request of any one council member. Items not removed may be adopted by one action without debate. Removed items may be taken up either immediately after the consent agenda or placed later on the agenda at the discretion of the council president.
I move to approve the consent agenda as listed, items 5A through 5G.
Second.
We have a motion, a second, to approve the consent agenda. Any questions, comments, or discussion? Hearing none, the motion is to approve the consent agenda as listed, items 5A through 5G. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is approved. Petitions, requests, and communications. Item 6A, review and possible action relating to a proclamation honoring Mason Becker for 10 years of dedicated service to the city of Fort Atkinson. Manager Hausman?
Thank you. We do have a proclamation. This is Mason Becker's last. This is Mason Becker's last meeting with on the city of Fort Atkinson City Council, and we have a proclamation that we would like to present along with a plaque here. So President Lesko here, if you would.
All right, the proclamation reads, whereas the city council of the city of Fort Atkinson would like to recognize and honor Mason Becker for 10 years of loyal service to the citizens of the city of Fort Atkinson. And whereas Mr. Becker served 5 terms on the Fort Atkinson City Council from 2015 to 2025. And whereas during his tenure on the city council, Mr. Becker has consistently worked to improve the quality of life for all residents, promote responsible governance, and support policies that reflect the values and priorities of the Fort Atkinson community. And whereas Mr. Becker's attention to detail, thoughtful questions, and knowledge of the city of Fort Atkinson have had a lasting impact on city staff and citizens. And whereas during his first term, Mr. Becker helped to spearhead the creation of the Economic Development Commission to help attract new business to the city. And whereas during his time on the city council, Mr. Becker served 3 terms as the council president and served on many boards, commissions, and committees. And whereas some of Mr. Becker's major accomplishments on the city council include purchasing and annexing new land for commercial and residential growth and development, passage of the city's public safety referendum, and the creation of 2 new tax incremental financing districts. Now, therefore, be it resolved on behalf of the city council, city staff, and all residents that the city of Fort Atkinson does hereby recognize the dedicated public service of Mason Becker and extends their best wishes in his future endeavors.
Thank you. Very appreciated.
Mason, it's been a pleasure serving with you. You've been both a inspiration and a role model I like to follow. You are more knowledgeable than most that I've ever seen. You are very good on council and I will miss you.
I'll miss being here. I appreciate that, Bruce.
Has been a pleasure serving with you.
Yeah, I had also written something because mostly I don't speak well off the cuff, but I do want to express my gratitude for your dedicated service to our city. The accomplishments and support that you've given will have lasting impact on our community and stand as a testament to your commitment to public service. I want to thank you for your mentorship and guidance you provided during our time together in council. And while we may not have always agreed on every issue, I've always respected your thoughtful perspectives and dedication to our city's well-being. And I hope that you get to spend a little bit more time with your wife, Laura, and your sons.
Thank you, Eric.
I just kind of reiterate, I mean, I've only been here with you for 2 years, so I appreciate all your knowledge you've helped pass on to me. And, you know, like Eric said, we haven't always agreed on everything, but it's what we're here for, so.
That's okay. You know, split vote isn't a bad thing. As somebody else used to say up here.
At this time, if we,
Motion.
yeah, let's, I would
Yep.
first entertain a motion.
I move to approve the proclamation recognizing Mason Becker for 10 years of dedicated service to the city of Fort Atkinson.
Second,
We have a motion and a second to approve the proclamation. Any further comments?
I have a few words I was hoping to say if that's.
By all means,
if it
go-
would be an
go
okay
right ahead.
time. Don't worry, I did not type up a huge rambling speech, but you know, I really sincerely want to say that it has been an honor and privilege to serve the city for the past 10 years. It really has been one of the most worthwhile and meaningful things that I can say I've done in my entire life. And it's led me to places that I never imagined or expected when I first ran a decade ago. Who would have thought that a Facebook post about food trucks on the Main Street Bridge would have led me here today? It's pretty wild, but you know, I think back to where we were around, you know, late 2014, early 2015 when I decided to run, and there was a lot of negativity here. You know, we did have a good amount of vacancies downtown on Main Street. We did have a lot of our commercial properties that were vacant, and we did have a lot of streets that were really in extreme disrepair. I'm thinking about Rockwell Avenue and what that used to look like. And I'm just really proud that we've all been able to work together and make a lot of good progress on all of those items. There's obviously still work to be done, and there always will be. But I'm really proud of some of the things we've been able to do. You know, we did get a new hotel here in Fort Atkinson. We got Quick Trip to come and build a new store. We've had other commercial investments. And one other thing I'm proud of, 2020 was an extremely challenging year. I was council president that year. I happened to be running for another office that year as well. Then I found out that fall that our former city manager, Matt Trebetoski, who was phenomenal, was going to be leaving. And you know, it was something I didn't think we'd be facing and we didn't plan for, but I think we did okay. And we found a really good city manager in Rebecca Hausman, who I'm extremely proud of. And I'm proud of the entire city staff that we have working here. Michelle Ebert has been phenomenal and too many other people to name, but I've enjoyed working with all of you. So I just want to say, you know, just stay optimistic. You know, there are some things that are going to be out of our hands in Fort Atkinson. We're a city of 12,000 people, and there's things that are within our grasp, and there's things that maybe aren't today. But let's stay optimistic. And I just want to say I'm grateful for my family. Unfortunately, my wife Laura was not able to be here tonight, but I'm grateful for my two boys, fellow council members. I've served with many great council members who all brought a diversity of opinion over the years. And I'm grateful for the residents here. This is a great turnout tonight. We don't usually get a turnout quite like this usually. So just really, you know, I want to say stay engaged, stay positive, keep giving feedback. And if you're not happy, either run for council or apply to serve on a committee. There's a lot of opportunities here to be involved. And even if not directly with the city government, maybe think about joining a service club. There's other ways to stay involved in Fort Atkinson. So that's all I'm saying. And, you know, I just want to thank you all and I really appreciate it. It's really been a great 10 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Becker. We do have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? If not, I would first, we'll complete the vote and
Okay.
have a picture to take. The motion is to approve the proclamation recognizing Mason Becker for 10 years of dedicated service to the city of Fort Atkinson. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is approved. Quick, take a photo with you. But all council members. Okay, item 6B, review and possible action relating to the proclamation recognizing Fort Atkinson as the intersectional peony city of Wisconsin. Museum Director Lee.
Hello, good evening. This is the 13th year that we've requested to be the intersectional peony city of Wisconsin. It's something that the state delegates us because we are the home of Roger and Sandra Anderson, who spent almost 40 years hybridizing peonies. They combined tree peonies with irregular old-fashioned herbaceous peonies and came up with a hybrid peony. And they created nearly 600 different types of peonies. There are over 60 of them at the museum right now in our peony garden. And every year the garden continues to attract thousands of peony enthusiasts while they're in bloom. In 2024, we had the distinct honor of being recognized as one of the inaugural reference gardens by the American Peony Society. There are only 6 of them nationwide. And the criteria for being named a reference garden includes being accessible to the public, containing a unique collection of peonies, and having the peonies all labeled and identified. We fulfill all of those criteria. So we are excited to be that. A reference garden, if you will, is kind of like a plant dictionary, where if you're not certain what peony you have, you can come and look at ours. Right now, they're not much to look at. They're kind of sticks in the ground. But in a few months, they'll be beautiful. We just haven't hit that spot yet. But we are looking to again be proclaimed by the state, the intersectional peony city of Wisconsin. And we'll be looking at that date being Saturday, May 31st of this year.
Okay, thank you for that background. We do have a proclamation here, but couldn't do it justice for your summary of its importance right here. So at this point, I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve the proclamation recognizing Fort Atkinson as an international peony city of Wisconsin.
Second.
We have a motion, a second to approve the proclamation. Any discussion?
Intersectional. Okay, sorry.
And if you have not visited when it's in
Sorry.
full bloom, you should make a point of it this year. Where are we looking at? Probably a month and a half or
Late
so.
May is usually
Yes.
when we say, yeah.
It is lovely. Okay, without any further discussion, the motion is to approve the proclamation recognizing Fort Atkinson as the intersectional peony city of Wisconsin. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion is approved. I'll snap a photo quick.
I blamed a full moon last week and all that. Tonight.
I think it's still laptop camera on the shelf.
Let's appreciate it.
We'll figure it out. There we go. We knew we'd get it. Thanks, Kyle.
Okay, moving on, item 6C, a review and possible action relating, action to proclaim April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the city of Fort Atkinson. We have Superintendent of Public Works Williamson.
Yes, good evening. So this is the fourth time that I'll come before the council and request that the council proclaim Arbor Day. So a part of the conditions that we have to meet our Tree City USA moniker is that we proclaim Arbor Day as part of the city tradition, and the city has proudly been designated this tree city for 31 years. In addition, or in 2025, the Arbor Day Foundation has designated National Arbor Day for Friday, April 25th. And the foundation encourages nationwide celebrations of these events and this event through volunteerism, community events, and other varieties of celebrations. The city of Fort Atkinson and the foundation are encouraging many different types of celebrations, including hiking in forests, learning about our tree canopy, and planting trees. For more information, many of these items can be found at the arborday.org/celebrate website. The city of Fort Atkinson has continued to invest yearly in maintaining its tree management and tree planting program, meeting all of the necessary requirements and expectations of the Tree City USA program for more than 31 years and plans to continue this program long into the future. This item, of course, is not expected to affect the city financially at all. And staff does recommend the city council president declare April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the city of Fort Atkinson.
Okay, thank you for that.
I move to proclaim April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the city of Fort Atkinson.
Second.
The motion is second to approve the proclamation. Any discussion? Other than to thank staff for really good care of our tree canopy.
Thank you.
So unless there's any other discussion, the motion is to proclaim April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the city of Fort Atkinson. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is approved.
Thank you.
Got another photo op here. All right, item 6D, excuse me, review and possible action relating to a proclamation recognizing Municipal Treasurers Week, April 20th to the 26th, 2025.
Thank you. Governor Evers declared April 20th through the 26th, 2025 as Municipal Treasurers Appreciation Week in the state of Wisconsin. So staff does recommend that the council do the same by approving a proclamation recognizing April 20th through 26th of 2025 as Municipal Treasurers Week in the city of Fort Atkinson, and recognize the city's professional municipal treasurer, Michelle Ebert, and her staff, Deputy Treasurer Lance Lebmitz, Deputy Clerk Courtney Tome, and Utility Billing Specialist Kara Rose.
Okay, I would like to read this one. Excuse me. Whereas the office of the municipal treasurer is a time-honored and vital part of local government that impacts the day-to-day life of individuals throughout the state. And whereas municipal treasurers administer the procedures, my apologies, and keep the financial records that allow governing bodies to carry out public functions efficiently and with confidence. And whereas municipal treasurers are the official custodians responsible for proper management and investment of public funds. And whereas Wisconsin's municipal and county treasurers work together to collect all property taxes for their municipalities, counties, local schools, technical colleges, and the state. And whereas municipal treasurers continually strive to improve the administration of the responsibilities of the Office of the Municipal Treasurer through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and conferences across Wisconsin. And now, therefore, I, David Lesko Hare, as City Council President of the City of Fort Atkinson, do hereby declare April 20th through the 26th, 2025 as Municipal Treasurers Appreciation Week.
I would move to approve the proclamation recognizing Municipal Treasurers Week, April 20th to 26th, 2025 in the city of Fort Atkinson.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the proclamation. Any discussion?
Just like to say it's a very underlooked position within the city, especially when it comes around to December, when property taxes come around. It's amazing how you guys can still keep all them tax bills organized and collected correctly. So I'm very appreciative of your office.
Do a great job. Without any further discussion, then I would move, the motion is to approve the proclamation recognizing Municipal Treasurers Week, April 20th through the 26th, 2025 in the city of Fort Atkinson. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is approved. One final photo op here. Yes.
What is it?
All right, item 6E, Jefferson County GIS Consortium presentation from Laura Scott.
Okay. I had some live demos on there. Okay. I tested them before I came, so. Wait. All right. Right. Hello, my name is Laura Scott. I work for Jefferson County, but about 25% of my time is dedicated to the city of Fort Atkinson and also the city of Watertown.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you. So my background in GIS, I went to the University of Wisconsin Platteville, and then I worked at Wisconsin DNR and then the DOT. And I have been in this position about a year. So does anybody know who has heard of GIS? A handful of people. The best way to explain it is spreadsheets with maps.
You want to use the ball. It's actually, if you aim it towards that computer.
Okay. There we go. So what do we use GIS for in Fort Atkinson? We do a lot of diggers hotline. So when we get the request in, we're able to locate what is in the area before going out to the field. We inspect, collect, and maintain all of our infrastructure, mainly water, stormwater, and sewer. Stormwaters, yeah. We are able to assess storm and flood damage as it happens when we're out in our field. We can collect the data as we go, and then the data is available in office immediately. We've worked with consistently able to put in data consistently, and then we have less paper out in the field, so less opportunities to drop the papers, lose them, and everything is all put together. So if I put something into my tablet, it'll show up on the next person's tablet in the office. And then we're able to share this with residents and then other departments. So one of the first things I worked on was this hydrant flushing app. This may not. It's okay if I can quick sign in. So the water department flushes the hydrants twice per year. And each one of these is a city-owned hydrant. And all this data on this tab here is what is sent to the DNR yearly. So we don't have to create those reports. It is automatically created for us. And so hydrant flushing hasn't started for 2025, but there's no data here. Just gonna come in here. And I'm using my phone, but all the majority of the crews have their own tablets. So now that I've submitted this, see, we have entries automatically in here. And if you go in closely, you can see this little green dot, which means that it's been flushed for this round. And that way they can keep track in office of where the crew was at the time. And if I maybe I can get the record if I click on here. It's behind here, but I have the whole record as well as all the records from past flushing. And then lead and copper has been something that we've worked on majorly, a lot. So this dashboard here is on the Fort Atkinson website. Has anybody seen it?
I have.
You guys? Oh, what is it doing? Okay. So, and has anybody gotten phone calls or a door card saying for the utility department, water department to come look at the types of pipes in their house? this is available online, so yeah, not zooming in very well. So there we go. So if you type in your address and click on here, it will tell you what type of material is made of the city side or city side and private side of your water service. And then this is for the water department. So this one here isn't publicly shown. Of course, it's gonna make me sign it again. So these are unknown services, so we don't know what is on your private side of your water service. So right now, we're mainly working in this area. Like about a week ago, this was almost 70. And so we're gonna finish north of the river first. And if we don't know what your material is, soon you'll get a door card, a phone call, maybe a knock on the door from the water department. And there was, starting off, around 900 houses we didn't know the type of service from, and currently it's down to about 500. So the next department I worked a lot with is DPW. I have a couple of them here today. And so one of their biggest inventories is trees.
Laura, I don't think we need to do the interactive part for this one.
Okay.
If you just
Yeah,
want to
that
keep
sounds like
going.
a good idea. So on this trees here, we could query what kind of trees they are, what condition they are in, all the notes that the crews have put in. We can see calls that the offices have got to trim the trees. And then on the right is what we're working on right now. It's going to be put on the public website as well. It will tell you what days brush pickup is going to be and the status of it for that day, whether it hasn't been started, it's been completed, or it's in the process of being completed. Okay. And then I've worked a lot with sanitary. Last year, we had an intern put in all of the sanitary backups. So that first image is a heat map of where backups have happened. And I believe it goes all the way back to 2000, somewhere around that time. On there, we have also have when the pipes were last cleaned. We're trying to do it in a 3-year period. So they can put in any comments, notes, and what we're working on now is creating a record every single time those pipes are cleaned instead of just the last time that it's been cleaned. And then on the right, this is a project that we were hoping to do last summer, but hopefully this summer now. We had an intern start to survey all of the catch basins and manholes on the stormwater pipes. So that way we know how many pipes are going in and out, the direction of the pipes, and then getting a good image so we can see the condition right in the office. All right, and Parks Department, I've worked quite a little bit with them. Ben and I started roughly the same time. So there was no Parks GIS for the city of Fort Atkinson, while I didn't have much knowledge of the parks here either. So it was brand new to both of us, and we collected a bunch of data. And what we're gonna start doing is on the right, you can see the different colors of the dots, which means the last time the garbages have been changed. So when the crew's out there, if they check or change the garbage, they can put in the time, and if they checked it or just changed it, so then anybody else out in the field can see at the same time. And then it kind of color differentiates on how long it's been. So the green there is within the last 24 hours. Right. You guys have any questions for me? Otherwise, I am in Fort Atkinson most Wednesday mornings. Available a cell phone almost Monday through Friday all the time. I do have my business card if anybody has any questions or anything they would like to talk to me about.
So I just want to back up a little bit and just say that this is, the council may recall, in late 2023, we approved an intergovernmental agreement with Jefferson County to make this relationship possible. So Laura was then hired by Jefferson County. She's a Jefferson County employee. The city of Fort Atkinson and the city of Watertown both pay a percentage of that salary. And in return, we get some pretty amazing work, which will both support positive interactions with the public, as you can see, where some of this stuff is still in, beta mode, but it will definitely longer term support much more positive interactions with our residents, and then also create some efficiencies in the service provision that the services that we provide within departments and within the city as a whole. So I'm very excited that we have Laura on board to help us out with these things and kind of open up the can of worms that is GIS, and hopefully continue to utilize it for some of these great items. So thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Any questions for Laura before she goes?
Quick question. I don't know if you, GIS stands for Geographic Information
Oh,
System.
yeah, I completely skipped over that.
Gotcha. Okay. The other question I have, so this is a lot of detailed information about how the city, will go about doing their business, and a lot of the engineering
Yeah.
behind the scenes. There is also a public GIS viewer. Are these also kind of maintained in the same databases or?
Yes, so
Okay.
anything that's public is within our data that we've shared publicly.
So, and earlier I saw that like you had to log in, but for the public, if you just go to Google, type in Jefferson County, Wisconsin GIS, it'll take you to the public GIS viewer, where you can zoom in on your own home and see if your neighbor is paying more property tax than yours. Opening a can of worms. But there's also there's a couple of different filters you can add, such as schools. If someone was going to be moving to Fort Atkinson, they could quickly find out and see on a map where all the schools are, elementary, middle school, high school, a few other like filters on there that are available for the public. So
Yeah,
I've used this extensively, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
I know that when I've looked at it, you could see like where property lines were.
Yes.
How accurate is that?
As accurate as we can make them. However, I would not make any decisions off of it. If you have a deed or a survey, that would be more accurate.
Okay, it was curious if it was within a foot, in 3 feet, in 6 feet. I just know of instances where questionable whether or not the one citizen's driveway was built over the line by an inch or two. And
Yeah, we've had those questions a lot, and our best guess is as accurate as we can make it.
Yeah, for those types of things, I think you really need to commission a survey.
Yes.
thank you.
Yes. Thank
Okay,
you.
yeah, this has been a cost-effective solution for our community. Thanks for the update. Item 6F, ATV UTV ordinance 6-month review per section 95-160 of the municipal code. Police Chief Bump.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
Your second 6-month check-in with data that comes out of the police department. When I came up with the memo, I maintained the first 6 months and I just added to it so you could see the full year. So the memo looks very similar to the last one you got 6 months ago, but I just added to it, added the last 2 or the last 6 months. It's not as exciting of a 6-month check-in. We know that a lot of UTV, ATV owners store them for the winter. And we saw a drastic drop in the amount of traffic on our roadways of ATVs and UTVs since winter came. So the data just shows some minor activity that we've had. I'm open to any questions that you might have based off of the memo that I provided.
Chief, any idea as to like what the warnings and citations were for in this?
The warnings,
Time period.
one of them was for parking. The other one was for not having the vehicle displaying registration. The citations issued were from an event that occurred at about 1 a.m. where someone was out and about having some fun at 1 a.m. and our officers came across them. So some citations were issued. I know the driver didn't have a valid license. And I believe there was one other violations and I can't remember what it is right now, but it was something that occurred in the middle of the night and it was before winter. So it was after the October time frame when I came last, and I believe it was in November or December is when that event occurred. Resulted in us having to tow the ATV from the scene and stuff like that. So it was kind of more of a not a
More of a
usual.
shame on you.
Yeah,
Instance,
exactly.
not a
Yep.
true.
Yep. Our officers really commonly aren't, writing citations for a lot of these violations. If they are running into people, they're getting warnings unless it's definitely appropriate, where it's something a little bit more unusual. So we haven't seen people being disorderly with them, luckily, and that obviously is a good thing. The only other thing that's occurred since the last 6 months is we did bring the DNR again to do a refresher training and then also train up some of our newer officers that weren't there for the first 6 months who were in the academy or that were recently hired. So we have had an additional refresher on the training to make sure we're staying sharp.
It seems like the number of violations are minimal.
Yep, they have been.
That's a good news.
Definitely. I mean, you never know how people will react to something new where it's more fun. And we hope they act appropriately, and we've seen that so far. And luckily we've had no accidents, which makes me happy. That was one of the bigger things that worried me most is I just don't think an accident involving a UTV, ATV will be a good one. So I always worry about that.
I was just gonna say, I appreciate the data again, and I know that there's been the departments had to take some extra time to educate people and get trained on enforcement and things like that, but it's good to see that, like the other council members said, that the issues seem to be pretty minimal at this point, and I think it probably points to the education efforts that your department's been part of, as well as the various clubs in the area, and hopefully that'll just continue, so.
Yep, I agree.
Okay, any other questions from the chief? No, thanks for the update.
You're welcome.
Item 7, resolutions and ordinances. There are none this evening. Reports of officers, boards, and committees. Item 8A, city managers report. Manager Houseman.
Thank you. I just want to take a moment to thank Mason Becker for your 10 years of service on the Fort Atkinson City Council. Your leadership over these last 10 years has definitely paved the way for the successes we are seeing now. And I will just add that the Facebook post that inspired the run, that inspired the continuing education to receive your master's degree in public administration, that then paved the way for your current position in working for the city of Watertown. It was really really nice to see that transition from my side of the desk. So I'm proud of what you've accomplished, and I'm sorry to see you go. Speaking of, last week I attended a virtual meeting put on by the League of Wisconsin Municipalities called Curds of Wisdom. And the topic was unlocking housing in Jefferson and Walworth counties, strategies for smart growth. The presenters were Whitewater City Manager John Wydell and Watertown Manager of Economic Development and Strategic Initiatives, Mason Becker. Both presenters did a great job, and I learned about projects and communication strategies employed by both communities. So thank you for that, Mason, and thank you for your continued work with economic development in this area of the state. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
On April 4th, several members of the city's team attended a ribbon cutting at Core Strength and Fitness located at 1815 Janesville Avenue. It was great to celebrate the opening of a new gym in a formerly vacant building on the city's south side. Last night, the winner of the Boost Fort Atkinson Business Competition was crowned. Congratulations to Layla and Rose's Tidy Tails Grooming Salon, which will receive a year of free rent at 214 South Main Street. Through the program, the community came together in a very positive way to fill a vacant storefront and support a new local business. And I really just want to say thank you to everybody involved in that program. Thank you to all those who attended our council orientation session #1 earlier this evening. We discussed form of government, roles, meeting management, open meetings, public records, closed sessions, ethics, zoning, land use, comprehensive planning, economic development, tax increment financing. We didn't quite get to the boards, commissions, and committees, but we will do that next time. I look forward to our next sessions, which include tours of city facilities, department descriptions, and staff introductions, and then finally budgeting and financing. Tomorrow, city staff, elected officials, and community members will participate in a ceremonial groundbreaking for Habitat for Humanity's first project in Jefferson County. We're pleased to welcome the folks from Habitat to our community and support their efforts in building affordable housing here. Deb Reinbold and Thrive ED have been very active lately on behalf of Jefferson County and the city of Fort Atkinson. On April 3rd, I attended an education session on the proposed state biennial budget presented at by the county's lobbying firm. The Biz Times is holding a Madwalkie 2050 that refers to the corridor between Madison and Milwaukee. They're calling it Madwalkie Corridor 2050 event. MadRep, which is the Madison Economic Development Organization, is hosting a development readiness event in Madison next week. And Jefferson County is holding their spring legislative breakfast on April 25th. Further, I've been working through Thrive ED to get some contact information for companies that prepare retail marketing studies with the goal of having a proposal for the council in the coming weeks. The city contracts with a private entity to install and remove our piers and buoys in the Rock River. And the pier and kayak launch at the municipal building has been installed, and the rest will be installed next week. I know people are eager to get out on the water and fish all the good fish. Hydrant flushing, as Laura mentioned, the hydrant flushing project that will begin on April 25th. So the city does flush all 600 hydrants twice annually, and we will start on the 25th. So take a look at our city website for more information on that. On Saturday, April 26th, Chief Peterson and the fire department will hold a public officials day. The event will encourage our city and town leaders to learn about fire, EMS, and special rescue operations. So I'm looking forward to that one. The Chamber of Commerce and city staff are working with the Wisconsin Rural Partners to host the 2025 Rural Partners Summit at the Riverstone on April 30th and May 1st. We look forward to sharing our community successes with other community leaders in Wisconsin. The Plan Commission and other stakeholders will get a chance to review the draft recommendations from the city's planning consultants relating to the Janesville Avenue and Main Street corridor plans at the meeting on May 13th. So save that date if you're interested in that. The municipal building will be closed on Friday, April 18th for spring holiday. And finally, just recall that there is a 5th Tuesday in April, so our next city council meeting will take place on Tuesday, May 6th.
Thank you for that report. Item 9, unfinished business. There is none this evening. Claims, appropriations, and contract payments. Item 10A, review and possible action relating to the verified claims presented by the Director of Finance and authorization of payment.
Move to approve the list of verified claims presented by the Director of Finance and authorize payment.
Second.
We have motion and a second to approve the claims. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, the motion is to approve the verified claims as presented. This is a roll call vote.
Councilman Becker,
Aye.
Councilman Jekyll,
Aye.
Councilman Johnson,
Aye.
Councilman Schultz.
Aye.
President Lesko.
Aye, motion is approved, 5-0. Before we say goodbye to this current council and bring in the other one, we have the next item adjournment, item 11A, the 2024-2025 City Council will adjourn sine die. This time I would entertain a motion.
I move to adjourn the final meeting of the 2024-25 Fort Atkinson City Council Sine Die.
Second.
We have an emotion and a second to adjourn the final meeting of this council. Any discussion? Didn't think so. Motion is to adjourn the final meeting of the 2024-2025 Fort Atkinson City Council, Sine Die. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? This council is adjourned.
Been a real pleasure. Listening.
Thanks again, Mason. Thank you, everybody. Welcome.
At this time, Clerk Everett will complete the oath of office for our new city council candidates, or excuse me, our new city council members.
All raise your right hand. I state your name. Having been elected to the position. The city council. The city of Fort Atkinson. Swear that I will support. Constitution of the United States. Constitution of the state of Wisconsin. And will faithfully and impartially. Discharge the duties. Of said office.
Okay, I will go ahead and call to order the first meeting of the 2025-2026 Fort Atkinson City Council. Roll call, please.
Councilman Huckabee. Here. Councilman Jekyll.
Here.
Councilman Johnson.
Here.
Councilman Schultz.
Here.
Councilman Lesko here.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is election of the president of the city council for the term of April 15, 2025 through April 21st, 2026. So I will call for nominations from the council for the position of president.
I would like to nominate Kyle Jekyll to be council president.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, Kyle, do you accept the nomination?
I will accept.
Are there any other nominations for council president? Okay, hearing none, the council may vote by voice to confirm the nomination. So Kyle has accepted, so the motion and second, and all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. You want to change a couple positions here?
Congratulations. Thank you. Just want to take a moment to say thank you to the council members for giving me this opportunity here. Item 13D, election of the president pro tem for the city of Fort Atkinson for the term of April 15th, 2025 through April 21st, 2026. I will call for nominations for the council for the position of the pro tem.
I would move to nominate Councilman Schultz as president pro tem.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to nominate Councilmember Schultz for president pro tem. Councilmember Schultz, do you accept?
I do.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on it or any other nominations? Seeing none, the motion is to nominate Councilmember Schultz for the position of president pro tem. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, item 13E, review and possible confirmation of the city manager's appointment of Eric Schultz to serve as council rep on the Plan Commission. Manager Houseman.
Yes, Councilmember Schultz has served in this capacity for several years. And he's doing a great job, and I'd like to continue to have him on the Plan Commission as the council rep.
I would move to confirm the appointment of Eric Schultz to serve as the council representative on the Plan Commission for the 2025-2026 year.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for Eric Schultz to serve as council rep. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, item 13F, review and possible action to designate the Daily Jefferson County Union as the official city newspaper for purposes of publishing required legal notices. Clerk Everett.
Thank you. As required by state statute, the city of Fort Atkinson does have to designate a local paper. We are very fortunate that we have a daily paper in our community. So any postings that we have are published timely, whether it pertains to notices for public hearings or for elections, or just providing updates of our great community and the action the council is taking. So I'd request the council to designate the Daily Jefferson County Union as the official newspaper.
I move to designate the Daily Jefferson County Union as the official city newspaper for the purposes of publishing required legal notices.
We have a motion and a second to designate the Daily Jefferson County Union as the official city newspaper. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 14A, new business. Review and possible action relating to the purchase of a walk-behind pavement saw for the Public Works Operations Division. Public Works Superintendent Williamson.
Yes, thank you. I have 4 items on the agenda tonight, so I'd like to start by just summarizing these 4 items because I think the council will see from the items that proposed before you. We got 3 very, very competitive bids and 1 bid came a little bit over. But in order to summarize this, I'll go through the process a little bit. In 2025, the general fund and capital improvement projects funding budgets were approved by the city council again in November at the November 19th regular meeting. And the Department of Public Works Capital Improvement Projects budget included the purchase of several pieces of equipment to replace older or some worn out items. Those items included a Ford F-250 service truck with rear liftgate, a walk-behind pavement saw, a Skag zero-turn mower, and a pavement crack router, and also a wing plow attachment for one of our existing fleet. The F-250 was previously approved by the council and has been ordered, but the remaining 4 items are before the council tonight. So the first item that I'll discuss will be the walk-behind pavement saw. The memo, obviously, in front of you is for the purchase of a walk-behind pavement saw. It also includes details on the other purchases to assist the city council in possible action on the remaining 4 CIP purchases. The walk-behind pavement saw is proposed to replace an existing unit that we've had in service for the last 26 years. The average useful life of equipment, of this type of equipment per industry standard, is roughly about 6 to 8 years. Staff reached out to several providers of this equipment, kind of in an effort to do our best to figure what the best unit would be for the city department. The department settled on the core cut saw, and this saw is is really built to put up with the rigors of city public works department's use and will hold up well under the use and strain. With that information, staff reached out to several providers to request proposals for this particular saw. Staff received pricing from 2 online suppliers and 1 local provider. The most affordable option was through one of the online suppliers, Patriot Contractors Equipment, at $11,166, and that also includes delivery. The other 2 suppliers were Badger Contractor Rentals out of Janesville and another online supplier, Ace Cutting Equipment. Badger Supply came in at $12,619.20, and Ace Cutting, came in at $11,995, including delivery. Department staff reviewed the low bidder, spoke with several regional representatives, and staff recommends making the purchase of this saw from Patriot Contractors Equipment. Under the financial analysis, you'll see the pavement saw item was originally estimated at $14,000 in the 2025 CIP, using 2 different funding sources, the general fund CIP levy of $4,000 and 2024-25 borrowing of $10,000. The proposed purchase amount for this item at $11,166. It falls $2,834 under the proposed budget of section R, page 212 and 213 of the approved CIP. Included below shows the 4 remaining requested purchases or purchase items by the Public Works Department and approved funding sources, as well as the truck that was already approved for purchase. You'll see that the original, the first attachment is the original budget form. And then the table below, the second attachment is the table below outlines the funding sources, cost, and current requests for all of the items requested on the agenda. The majority of proposed purchases received very favorable proposals, except for the wing plow attachment. The table below shows a net positive cost of 5 total CIP purchases against the approved budget. And the Public Works Division is committed to working again within the budget, the confines of the budget approved by the City Council. Please note that the net positive of 5 purchases is $2,413.54, including the wing plow attachment, which exceeded the anticipated budget amount by $8,761. These tables are relevant for the next 3 agenda items as well. So I just thought I would put that before the council so that when we get to the other agenda items, you can make informed decisions. Staff does recommend approval of the purchase of a core cut self-propelled walk-behind pavement saw from Patriot Contractors Equipment Sales and Supply at a cost not to exceed $11,166. And of course, all the bids were attached to the memo. I'm happy to take any questions you have on this item.
A couple of quick ones.
Sure.
I assume this is stored inside.
Yep.
The average, are we using it about the same as anyone else who owns this piece of equipment?
Typical.
That we were able to get so many more years out of it?
Yeah, typical to our size community. We use it quite often. And we have a very talented service staff that is now able to fabricate parts to keep the old one running. So at this point in time, it's really appropriate we replace it. I'm hoping to put something in the CIP for future purchases to kind of replace this a little more often. It becomes very difficult to service it after 20 years.
And is there any resale value with the current equipment that we have?
We will put it up for auction. I hesitate to guess what it will sell for. There are several parts of the equipment that are not manufactured any longer, but there may be somebody out there that can use it that would take it. So.
I move to approve the purchase of a walk-behind pavement saw for Public Works operations at a cost not to exceed $11,166.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the purchase of a walk-behind pavement saw for the Public Works, not to exceed $11,166. Any other discussion? None. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 14B, review and possible action relating to the purchase of a Skag Turf Tiger zero-turn mower with a hurricane mulching kit and a fiberglass shade top kit for the Public Works Operations Division. Superintendent Williams.
Yeah, so this is the second item, previously summarized, but in essence, this is a piece of equipment that we use to mow terrace areas. It is a zero-turn mower. Several years ago, a few of the council members may recall that we switched over as a city between the parks and the Public Works Department to using Skag mowers. They seem to hold up much better for us, and their warranty service is top-notch. So staff reached out to our local provider, our preferred local provider, Midwest Equipment, and received what I thought was a phenomenal, but absolutely very favorable cost proposal at $14,799. And that also included the mulching kit. Staff then resourced the canopy shade top, which is similar to the ones that we have on the units right now, online, and found that for $752.96, delivered through Thunderbird Industries. These items total $15,551.96. Staff again reviewed the bids, spoke with the local representative, and recommends making the purchase from Midwest Equipment. Obviously, this item was approved originally in the CIP budget at $18,000 and was funded through the general levy fund. The proposed purchase amount of this item, including the previously detailed items, is $15,551.96. And this item again falls $2,448.04 under what we proposed in the budget. And the anticipated budget. And again, I just attached the tables so you can review that. But staff would recommend approval of the purchase of a Skag zero-turn mower with hurricane mulch kit and canopy shade cover from Midwest Equipment and Thunderbird Industries respectively at the cost not to exceed $15,551.96. I can certainly answer any questions on this.
How wide a cut does this do?
61 inches.
I'll just make a note that it's through Mid-State Equipment, not Midwest.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mid-State, you're right. Yeah, Mid-State would be really upset with me for calling them Midwest.
You mentioned as their preferred vendor is,
Yep.
If you could explain again, why are they preferred?
It's the supply, it's the local Skag supplier that we've gone through for the last,
Okay.
don't quote me, but I believe it's like 7 years now. We purchased the Skag mowers through them. Our Parks Department last year purchased, I believe, 4 Skag mowers through them also.
So it matches our other equipment brand.
It does. Yeah, it does. And they're also the warranty service center for that piece of equipment beyond our own service line.
What does the Public Works Department use this for versus the Parks?
So Parks mows, obviously Parks mows green space areas within all of the park held, the local public parks. We have several areas within the city that the city Public Works Department maintains terrace areas that are actually, that fall into the center of cul-de-sacs and triangular islands, also sections of terrace area that are managed and maintained by the city, also owned by the city. So we mow all of that with that. We also mow the airport. So one of the things about purchasing this newer equipment, we'll rotate that into using for terrace mowing, and we'll take the existing mower, take that out to the airport so that we don't have to trailer out to the airport. We'll have a piece of equipment that we can use out there. The airport doesn't get mowed quite as often as the terrace areas do. Skag zero-turn mower with hurricane mulch kit and shade cover from Mid-State and Thunderbird Industries at a cost not to exceed $15,551.90.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the purchase of the Skag zero-turn mower. Any other discussion? Seeing none, motion is to approve the purchase of the Skag zero-turn mower with hurricane mulch kit and canopy shade cover from Mid-State Equipment and Thunderbird Industries. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
All right, 14C, review and possible action relating to the purchase of a Craftco Model 30 pavement crack router and dust control kit for the Public Works Department.
Thank you. So this again is the third item that was summarized originally. This item is a piece of equipment that we use yearly to manage the pavement sections within the city, the roadways and also parks pavements. The the staff reached out to two providers. As the council can imagine, there aren't very many manufacturers of pavement crack routers. So there are several on the market, and there are two that are within what I would refer to as local here to the city. Sherwin Industries of Milwaukee and Mid-States Equipment out of Mountain Lake, Minnesota. Sherwin Industries provided a proposal for $22,250, and Mid-States Equipment provided a proposal for $25. And this piece of equipment will replace a 28-year-old pavement crack router that we have also been managing to keep working for the last at least 10 years. Staff is really familiar with the low bidder here, having purchased several pieces of equipment from them, and we also purchase our crack material supplies from them. Along with the warranty service and repairs, and recommends the purchase of from Sherwin Industries. This item was approved originally in the 2025 CIP with an anticipated budget of $26,000 and was funded through the 2024-25 borrowing. The proposed purchase amount for this item again is $22,250 and falls $3,750 under the anticipated budget. Again, I attached the same exhibits to this memo, but staff would recommend approval of the purchase of a Crackco Model 30 pavement router with dust control kit from Sherwin Industries at a cost not to exceed $22,250. Happy to
I'd like
answer
to
any questions.
Commend you on the fact that these quotes are coming in and you're coming in under budget.
I appreciate that.
That's something that goes undernoticed, I think, by our citizens.
Thank you.
I think it's amazing, we've made this machine last for 28 years and the average lifespan according to the DOT is 6 to 8 years. So
Yeah.
we've gotten well beyond its serviceable life, I'd assume.
I don't want to say we're lucky, but we've been very fortunate to keep it running.
I move to approve the purchase of a Craftco Model 30 pavement crack router with dust control kit for Public Works Operations Division from Sherwin Industries at a cost not to exceed $22,250.
I second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? None. Motion is to approve the purchase of a Craftco Model 30 pavement crack router with dust control kit for Public Works and Operations Division from Sherwin Industries at a cost not to exceed $22,250. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
And 14D, review and possible action relating to the purchase of a wing plow system and installation onto a single axle plow truck, fleet number 4 for the Public Works and Operations Division. Superintendent Williamson.
Yes, thank you. So this is the final item, and this is the item that did come in quite a bit over budget, which is kind of why I wanted to summarize everything for you. It did catch us a little off guard. However, with material costs the way they are right now, I guess it's not completely unexpected. This memo again is for the request of a wing plow attachment, which is a secondary plow that hangs off the side of our plow trucks. I mean, we've seen them. We use them to plow city streets. This particular truck was ordered several years ago with just a straight blade on it and no wing plow attachment to help supplement the fleet. And it's become very apparent in the last 3 years that we can increase our efficiency by adding wing plows to these units. They turn tightly. They plow small residential neighborhoods very efficiently with a wing plow. So we reached out to the original truck upfitter, which was Monroe Truck Equipment. Maybe to help you understand it, that there's only a couple of different upfitters in the state that put boxes and plows on trucks, and Monroe Equipment doesn't match up to the other providers' equipment. So the way that they add onto the frame and they put controls in the units and how they run their hydraulics does not match up between the upfitters. That's kind of their niche thing. So we reached out to Monroe. These particular pieces of equipment typically have about a 15-year lifespan. And if some of the council members will recall, I came before the council a couple years ago, and requested some funds to rebuild the engine on this truck. So this is a truck that we would like to keep in service for quite a while yet. The department reached out again to Monroe Truck Equipment. They responded with a proposal of $26,761 for parts and labor. And again, you can see from the attached exhibits, we did not budget $26,600 for this. We budgeted $18,000. And that comes out of the general levy fund. The proposed purchase amount for this item, again, being $26,761, falls $8,761 over anticipated budget. However, below the council can see from sheet 212R of the CIP from 2025 that we again budgeted 18,000. But the financial impact to the city shown in the second exhibit is that the net savings over the entire purchase of all the CIP items is $2,413.54. And that includes the wing plow with an anticipated budget amount exceeding by $8,761. So staff would recommend approval of the purchase of the wing plow attachment from Monroe Truck Equipment at a cost not to exceed $26,761.
Any questions for Superintendent Williamson?
Does wing plow get any other special features where every year we have to listen to a citizen complaints about plowing in their driveway? Would a wing plow solve that? Or is it still not feasible with the time that we have to get the streets clear?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's something that will probably come bad forever. The wing plow does not assist in keeping snow from falling off into people's driveways. Snow finds a way where there's an opening, snow falls off the plows and into the driveways. We do the very best we can to not pack people's driveways full, but that is just the nature of plowing snow these days.
I just know I'll hear it this year, so I figured I'd get the answer right away tonight.
Yeah, not a problem.
I move to approve the purchase of a wing plow system and installation onto a single axle plow truck fleet number 4 for the Public Works Operations Division at a cost not to exceed $26,761.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Motion is to approve the purchase of the wing plow system and installation onto a single axle plow truck, fleet number 4 for the Public Works Operations Division at a cost not to exceed $26,761. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Item 15, adjournment.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.